Now, there's a part to this no one wants to hear. Everyone, most guys are looking for a quick fix. You're looking for a secret, something I'm going to tell you, a magic word, a spell, an incantation that's going to make you be surrounded with women who want to have sex with you all the time. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. It is a recipe. It's a recipe which includes lots of hard work. And this is something I call being a man in demand. The 5 F's. I've got 5 F's. They are fitness, finance, fun, free time, and fucking. Those are the 5 F's. And that is the recipe of what makes you a man who women want to fuck. If you're not a man who women want to fuck, if you are lazy and you're broke and your Instagram looks terrible and you're fat as fuck and you look like shit and you're not smart, you're not interesting, you're not funny, you're busy all the time, how many women do you think you're going to get? 0. It doesn't matter what you apply of what I know. You have to be a man who has some level of demand about him to be an elite level player.
I think from a very early age, there's an ability that, at least I'm sure it transcends to women too, or extends to women too, but learning to pack down feelings, right? And so what are we really talking about when we talk about pack down feelings? I'm not a psychologist, but what we learn is top-down control, forebrain to autonomic control. It's the same thing like, I don't want to jump off the high dive, or I don't want to do this public speaking, but I'm gonna kind of like, I'm just gonna force myself, I'm gonna David Goggins it, right? Grief is an autonomic state. We say it has valence, it has negative valence, but it's high levels of autonomic arousal with a negative connotation, because you can be high levels of autonomic arousal with happiness, right? You can be very alert and aroused and happy, very alert and aroused and sad. It's very alert and aroused and sad, and yet we learn how to tamp that down. What is tamping down? It's reducing our heart rate. It's going to work each day, being a functional human being. There's a lot of that, rather than allowing ourselves to, sob uncontrollably into a pillow. Some people are better at this. I mean, the late Steve Jobs was a big proponent of scream therapies. He used to go up into the hills behind Stanford. He actually still owns some property back there. He was really into
There's a rule in this book: do not hide unwanted things in the fog. Yeah, well, people hide a lot of unwanted things in the fog in their relationships, and sometimes the consequence of that is a deep betrayal. And the medicine for that, the necessary antidote for that, is to reveal all of those hidden things. God, in a relationship that's gone spectacularly wrong, that can be 10,000 things that weren't faced in the course of the relationship. And every single one of them has to be resurrected and thought through. So, unfortunately, in some sense, that's fated as well, because once you've been hurt like that, there isn't an alternative in terms of reconstituting yourself. There isn't another option. You have to face everything that made you vulnerable in that manner to begin with. And that's a lot to face, especially all at once, especially when you've been avoiding it for maybe decades or maybe your whole life. It's rough, so good luck with it.
Life's gonna hurt you, and how you use that pain is completely and utterly up to you. You can use that pain to galvanize yourself as a man and become a better man you've ever been. I'm not saying that I'm only successful because of some chick. I'm saying that every single time that I was heartbroken, I never wasted a second. I was never wallowing. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Especially as a young man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We talked about this on the show. You're going to get your heart broken as a young man. I've had it happen to me.
Yep.
We've all had it happen to us. And it's not even about anger towards the girl. It's 7 years later, because as a man, you're going to get your value later.
Yes.
Right. So if you use that energy to put all that work in, these girls, they come back around, and I love to see them come back. Not because I'm in love again, just because it's like, You know, I told you so.
No, I said this, like anybody who tries to get revenge on a woman,
way.
that's incel energy. That's a wrong way of looking at it. The only revenge you can get on a woman who breaks your heart is success. Success is the best revenge. Just level up slowly, and when she messages you, you got two choices. You can either say, sorry, baby, you're not my type anymore. Boom, you win. Or you could fuck her again. One last spin on the Ferris wheel. Yeehaw. Yep. So there are general rules to women. No woman on earth thinks, I love big, fat, ugly guys. I mean, there are guys who like fat chicks, maybe. No woman on earth wants a big, fat, ugly dude who gets out of breath when he walks up the stairs. Not a single one. So you take that general rule and you think, okay, I want to be as attractive as I can to as many women as possible. Don't be a fat, lazy fuck. Rule number one, if you're a fat, lazy fuck, get to the gym. You're not going to be able to live like me until you do. Get into reasonable shape, at least. Being the fat, lazy fuck is not attractive to women. Fitness is essential. Now, with these general rules, when I say women don't like guys who are big, fat, and ugly, you can take everything else I say in the 5 Fs and apply them exactly the same way. I am not every woman's type. A lot of women look at me and think, you know what? I don't like him. I don't like the way he looks. Don't like the way he's shaped. Don't like his height. I'm too tall, maybe, for some women. Yeah, if they're short. I don't like this. I don't like that. Cool. I'm not every woman's type. Neither are you. Nobody is. I know some handsome dudes. They're not every woman's type. They can't be. However, being fit makes it far more likely that you are going to be the type of the women you meet. So absolutely, this is an essential rule. The first of the 5 Fs, being a man in demand, is fitness.
So I think the better that we can lean into the emotional states that we fear the most, but in a controlled way where we're not harming ourselves or other people, the better. The more that we try and avoid that and we try and sublimate or just, and I've done this, so I'm speaking from experience, I would use the anger or the sadness from an experience to just work 10 times longer, 10 times harder, to just get that much more focus. You're taking that autonomic arousal, that narrow aperture and that energy, and you're putting it onto something that moves your life forward. So in some cases that's good because you still need to function. But it can give you I'll just say, it gave me the illusion that I was working through something because you get all the accoutrements and rewards of hard work. But what you don't do is remap that space-time closeness map. And then I guarantee you find yourself 5 or 10 years later wondering why you're so exhausted or why certain things in life aren't going well. And it's because when they say you haven't dealt with the loss, you never actually allowed yourself to feel the feelings. But once you do,
don't pretend. Here's a piece of advice. And as a therapist, I generally don't give people advice because that isn't the role of a therapist. Do not pretend to be better than you are in this situation. The fact that you're enraged, let's say, and you should be, is actually, that has to be fully admitted and worked through. Because otherwise, you'll reconstitute the relationship on unbelievably shaky grounds, and some crisis will come your way that's not even very serious and blow you into bits again. So you'll be able to forgive the person if they can confess and transform deeply enough so that your rage is actually genuinely eliminated. And that's going to take a lot of effort, man, and a lot of honesty, a lot of willingness to see that you are in fact that demolished and outraged. That's a vicious pit to contemplate.